This is my birth year bag. You know, I've seen people on Facebook groups and whatnot, like Louis Vuitton Facebook groups, talk about birth year bags. They're looking for a bag from their birth year. They finally got a bag from their birth year. And I've never been able to do that because I was born before Louis Vuitton started putting date codes in their bags. So there's no way to tell when a bag that was made the year that I was made, there's no way to tell how old it is. But this bag, I do have a way. It doesn't have a date code either, but I have another way. And I think it's going to be a really cool bag. I'm really looking forward to opening this and seeing it in person. I'm also not 100% sure of the color because it seems to be a color that changes in different light. So I'm looking forward to seeing that too. Very curious about that. Stick around and see what I got. It comes with some special things too. Stay tuned. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to my channel is you get to see my community posts on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals and discount codes and sales and rare finds, kind of like this one, related to these beautiful things we love. Let's get into this. I'm so excited. Where did I get this bag? It was off Etsy. Yeah, Etsy. And I have some cool information about it based on the stuff it comes with. It gives me more of a history of the bag. So it shipped in this box and has tissue paper protecting it, which is really nice. And the bag is here. Now I have in my head how big this bag is, but I have also seen photos of it, like mod shots, and it's smaller than I wish it would be, but I'm gonna be okay with that because the design of it is so cool. Let's open this up. I really appreciate it when people pack things well, and I take it for granted until somebody doesn't. Like, I just unboxed another bag tonight. It turned out the bag was in fine shape. It didn't get damaged, but it was just sent in an envelope with no protection at all. It wasn't even a padded envelope. It wasn't wrapped in tissue paper. There was no bubble wrap, nothing. It's really frustrating. When you're spending money on something, it should be packed well. All right. Ooh, can't see the color really well yet. It's so soft. Trying to figure out the best way to pull this out for you. Here's the bag, and gosh, this color. Look out, Roxy. Wow. It has a smell. That's to be expected. This leather, too. This is interesting. It's a little bit different than I thought it was from the pictures. Not in a bad way, just a little different. It definitely needs to be cleaned too. So anyway, let me show you the bag here. It's a vintage Coach bag. It's probably obvious to a lot of you. And it is called the Crescent shoulder bag. Let me look up the style number. This is one of Coach's original handbags. And in fact, I'll put an image up here of this bag next to the saddle bag in one of their original catalogs. So the Crescent style number is 9235, and it's 10 inches by 10 inches by 3 inches deep. It's flat right now because it's not stuffed. I am going to guess, just by looking at this bag, and I'll compare the colors in a minute to some other bags that I have, but I'm going to guess that this is rust. They described it as red, but I think that this color is called rust. Someone correct me if I'm wrong about it. Thinking about several different things to do here. First of all, let's do a full shot of it like that, and I'll do mod shots before we're done, but there's just so you can see the entire bag at once. It is a shoulder bag. It's not long enough to be crossbody. I just think it's so pretty. I also think when you see the whole thing like this hanging, that it kind of looks like a guitar. Like the silhouette of it kind of looks like the shape of a guitar. What do you think? I'm looking at the leather. It's very interesting in the way that it has aged. I can tell it needs to be cleaned. There are spots like right here at the top of the handle where you would hold it the most often, where, I don't know if you can tell on camera there, but it's darker because of oils from hands. And then it has 4 where you can adjust the strap length. These holes have brass rings around them, whereas my classic pouch does not. It's just holes in the strap. These buckles are really chunky too. If you compare that to the classic pouch, much chunkier. The leather, what I'm noticing, and I don't know that this will come across very well, it's very matte here. Very matte. And then you can see here, there's darkening to the leather, probably because when it hangs on your shoulder, your hand may fall there. Or you go to open the flap and your hand touches there. But there's a look at it. You can see some scratches and things, which is normal, especially for a bag this age. The brass definitely needs to be cleaned up. And here's the bottom. I have to say the condition is more rough than I thought it was from the photographs that I saw, but I still love it. It's an old bag, so I'm happy with it. I did make a big deal about it being a birth year bag. 1979 is the year, so this is a 42-year-old bag at this point. The leather feels like it might be a little dry, definitely dry in some places. So I'm gonna want to probably do a little cleaning, definitely some conditioning on this bag. And it seems like if you compare the back of the bag, that looks really shiny, right? Compare that with the front, that looks very matte. And the grain looks a little different too here versus here. And I also noticed on the strap that the grain looks different. It looks pretty smooth on this part of the strap, but as you go up to the top, you can see these large grains or wrinkling. All right, let's look inside and also see how this thing opens. So we'll do the little turn lock, which turns very easily. And then when you open the flap, you have the back side of the leather here, like the suede and the seams. It's a very orange colored bag for sure. Wow. It's always amazing to me when I open up one of these vintage Coach bags, how bright the color is on the inside compared to the outside. There's no pocket on the front here, and then this is the inside of the bag itself. There's one pocket back here, and that is where the extra stuff is. Ooh, it's kind of dirty inside. There's some stuff at the bottom that needs to be vacuumed out. Ooh, and there's some, wow, I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's a big spot at the bottom. Ah, there you go. You can see it's focusing on my face, but you see that giant spot? That's not good. That was not disclosed in the listing. Not happy about that. At least it's on the inside of the bag, and hopefully if I can clean this, then some of that can come out. It comes with this little pouch which holds the original paperwork for the bag, and you'll see these sometimes sold separately on places like Etsy. Okay, so I'm pulling out all the paperwork. It has a lot that it comes with. Here's a little folded paper, a word about our factory. If you want to pause that and read it, you can do so. And then there's the back of it. It also has this little Coach catalog, and let me find the page. Oh, I opened right to it. Here's the page that has the Crescent bag and the classic pouch. I won't show you the whole booklet, but there are those two pages if you want to pause that and read it. It has an advertisement for Coach belts, and this page about Coach items. And this page about cleaning, I will hold half of it up if you want to pause that and look at it, and then here's the other half. And then here's how I knew how old it is, because this bag does not have a date on it. It has someone's address, so I'm going to hide that part. It came with the original receipt for the handbag, and you can see right here that it has the date 1979, and it was purchased for $61 from a department store. I had to look this up. A department store in Oregon called Meyer and Frank. There's no back pocket. It has some weight to it because it's leather, but I wouldn't call it a heavy bag. And I was going to try to show you the creed on here. I'll try to get a better photograph of that and put it up on the screen because it's really hard to see. But it is a bag that was made in Coach's New York City factory. All right, let me do some quick mod shots on my shoulder here. I stuffed it a little bit so that it has a little bit more shape than just being flat. So here it is as a shoulder bag on the longest length. I just think it's such a pretty bag, like the silhouette, and I like how the pocket is a little higher on it. It's really pretty, and it's nice and slim too, so it sits right up against you. I'm going to put it on the shortest length and let's see how that looks. Oh, and I didn't show you the hang tag. So it looks like that. It's pretty faded, but you can still see Coach, and it's the raw leather on the back. Yeah, look how dirty that leather is there. Definitely needs a cleaning. I have to say I'm a little disappointed with how dirty this bag is. It did not look like this in the photographs. Okay, here it is on the shortest length. So the thing about having it on the shortest length is you have these things hanging down. I can still do this one-handed, getting it on my shoulder. And it definitely sits up higher. I mean, obviously. Earlier my hand was down here touching the bottom of the bag. I feel like when it's up here, my arm sticks out farther from my body, but it's still very pretty at that length. I'd probably wear it where it was. Actually, that was not the longest length. That was the second to longest. So let me put it on the very longest. The one I just showed you was the shortest, but the one before that, the one how it came, how it arrived, was the second to shortest. Okay, so here it is on the very longest length. You don't have much of a strap hangover at all there. And then it hangs way down here, so my hand is way at the bottom, like extended all the way. That's really comfortable. That's more comfortable for me than having it on a shorter length because I can put my hand here pretty easily. It's It's really pretty. There is also, just so you're aware, there's another version of this bag. Coach later had a line called the Berkeley line, and the Berkeleys were, I think they were all styles that they already did, maybe, and this was one of the styles that they used, but the leather was turned the other way so that the suede, the raw part, was on the outside of the bag. On this particular bag, it was suede here, but leather here. It's all leather, but you know what I mean, right? It was right side out leather, but suede here, suede on the sides, suede on the back. I would be very afraid of that, so that's not a bag on my wish list. But I am happy to have one of these. It was a little bit difficult to find this, and especially since they're older bags, most of the ones I looked at were in rough shape, which is why I picked this one, because the photos made it look like it was really nice, and it's just not in the condition I thought it was. But there's no damage that I see, it's just dirty. So that can be, you know, it just needs to be cleaned, and I think it'll be great. Last thing I wanted to do was compare this color to two other colors. Here it is with the tan, so you can see those next to each other, and you can see how very orange the Crescent bag is compared to the tan saddle pouch. And then I also wanted to compare it to British tan, because I thought when they described this as red, but the photos didn't look red, or some of them didn't, depending on the lighting, I thought, well, maybe it's British tan. I'm not sure that it is British tan. I think it's much more orange than that. In fact, I feel pretty confident saying it's not British tan, even though I'm no expert in Coach colors. But I want to compare the outside of the leather. Now, these leathers, they can change colors. Like British tan, you'll see a lot of different variations in that if you're looking at different listings on the pre-loved market. If this is rust or red, whatever that color is, you'll see variations of that as well. So I want you to see those two together. But the real telltale sign, I think, the real telltale proof that this is not British tan is to compare the inside, the suedes on them. And you can see how the British tan is definitely brown. It's a red-orange brown, but it is brown. Whereas this is very orange. And it's a very red orange, but they're not the same color. This bag is not British tan. So I'm gonna call it rust for now, even though I'm not sure that that's 100% correct term. If any of you know, please do let me know, because I want to have the correct terminology for it. And I think I have shown you everything about this bag. Despite the cleanliness factor, I think it's beautiful and I love it, and I think I'll get a lot of use out of it. The only thing that concerns me, and I knew this when I bought it, about using the bag is that this opening is so much smaller than the rest of it. But I mean, that's just something to get used to. So look at the patina and how different the color is on the leather on just this one piece. That's something with these older dyes that were used, is you see, I don't think brush strokes is the right word, but you see variations in the dye as they patina and age over time. And that's part of the beauty of the bags for sure. But some of this darkening here is from hand oils, and that just needs to be cleaned. So the moral of this story is this bag needs to be cleaned, but it's beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope to see you back here next time. I hope you and your loved ones are doing well, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.